Hey guys, this is really a part two to the Hermit reading that I just did. So sometimes, I don't always, but I did just watch that whole video back just before I've even posted it. And there's been a couple of things. I have written a little bit of a story. It's funny because when I did Sincerity, when I showed that card that said Sincerity, I've actually written a short story and I've called it Sincerity. So everything I do, it comes back to me and has a reason for why I've done it. And I wrote that years ago, but I've been putting it together. It was really hard, and it was hard because it's actually my story, which makes me feel very vulnerable to say it out loud. And it makes me feel very afraid, because if I say it, now it's one thing to put something up that I can say it's just a story, you know, but the reality is that that story that I've written is my autobiography, is a narrative about how I felt in my life, and certainly growing up in my family. And it's called Sincerity. So it's really heavy for me, and it's kind of a sign from Spirit that it's time to post it. And so that'll probably go on Little Wren, although I don't feel like that's quite right. However, they will show me, they will guide me, and so I guess I'm telling you, watch this space, because I'm just letting you know that when I talk, when Spirit talks to me, and when I'm doing things, everything that is meant for you, there's always a message for me as well. It's never, I'm not just here telling you something, okay, and being like, you should do this, you should do that, blah, blah, blah. No, I am here because I am learning, I am growing, I am on the journey, and I am working my way through things and trusting that Spirit could do it. Now, I've posted before about some illustrations that I did, and Transcendence, right? Transcendence was the big, it's coming, you know, and I put those things up, and I'm just like, I never know. And the first drawing I did for this, the Divine Feminine Flower, I did that, and it happened like this. It was very rapid. It kind of did it all in one day. It was done. It was fine. And a lot of the time, when I get called to draw or to paint or to write, especially those two things, writing and drawing or painting, it's very rapid. It's very fast. But sometimes I'll start something, and it's like it'll go from being knowing, feeling it, and working, to suddenly not working. And so I'm going to show you the Transcendence thing, because it's a disaster. And this whole, that prayer card that I did just before is about perfectionism. And again, anything that I post for you is a message for me as well. And it drives me nuts. I'm not going to lie. So I'll show you. I did that Transcendent, and I'll show you, because there's always this feeling of, I guess, disappointment in myself, and blaming myself, and I'm gonna laugh and say I blame Spirit. Well, maybe, you know, but they are teaching me as I go, and they're the ones that guide my hand. They're the ones that do it, and it's not all me. I come from a very artistic family, but I can't do it unless it is spiritually guided. I promise you it is the case. I can probably barely draw a stick figure if I wanted to, but nevertheless. So I'll show you this. No, maybe I'll just hold it up, but I don't lose all the pages. Ooh. I just ripped all those off. Never mind. So this is where I'm at with this. And this here, it was flowing so beautifully. And this I have spray painted like 3 times now. And all the petals, it's funny, I've had several visions, I've had several directions. Each petal was like flowing a different way, which is really unusual for these tiger lily type flowers to go. And they keep changing in my mind, and so I'm starting to draw it, and then when I start to draw it, while I'm drawing it, it changes mid-drawing. And so one minute they were all leaning in, the next minute they were all leaning out, and then some were leaning in and some were leaning out, and then I saw a vision of them like just waving, kind of like each petal was living. And then I had to spray paint it because I overdid it. And now I feel like I'm got a disaster on the page. And yet, there's something still quite beautiful about it. And I understand it. To me, it's like a star, you know, it's like, it's a living thing that these are actually buds of new flowers. That's why they're glowing. They're not leaves, there's one leaf here and one kind of side leaf here. But these are actually buds of new flowers. They're like, there's growth, there's abundance, there's, what's the word, sorry. New life. Newness, fullness coming through. This, once it opens, it's like this living, powerful thing, but this will die as well. But at the moment, I just wanted to point out that my perfectionism has been freaking out because I wanted to show you guys so much, so much, and show you that Spirit's working, but sometimes Spirit stops me midway and almost deliberately kills off part of it. But it's always for a reason, because it's always a message. And this is the thing, is that I think, no, I haven't got a clue. I have not got a clue about whether this is going to progress, whether it's going to come through and be completed and healed, or if this is the end of the message. Maybe that's all there is. Maybe it's just the point is there, and the teaching is the point. Perfectionism, there's still a beauty in it, and yet in my ego self, I'm furious. I'm annoyed, I'm frustrated. I just want this to be something so beautiful and so perfect and so good, and yet this is all Spirit's let me do. This is as far as I can go. And I had to stop. And I've had pieces in the past where like I said, I have pieces, art pieces that I've had in the past, stories that I've written in the past, and I'm only given part of it. I'm given part of it, and then I've put it away. Like I've just done a background, or I've just done something random, and then years later, I mean 5, 10 years later, suddenly I'm like, oh, finishing it. And it's all about divine timing. It's all about timing. I don't know when this is going to be finished. I have no clue. But all I know is that this is where I'm at. And I'm just going to keep giving you messages that I receive. And I really hope one day this will come to a conclusion, an end, and will be so perfect and beautiful. Because that's the point, isn't it? So, even when things are a disaster, don't give up. Just wait. Just wait.